Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as you may already recognize, we have one of the feature and favorite events at any major Grand Prix in the nation, and that is the lead line. These lead liners, of course, may have their eyes on future stardom in the show jumping ring, and they have to get their start somewhere. This lead line competition that we have going on right now is one way to get that start. Sometimes it's not even the jumps or the course that's the biggest problem. Sometimes it's just performing in front of an audience. And one way that we like to help them out with that, because there's a lot of pressure, as you might know, is to go ahead and give them some applause. So as the ones that you would prefer to win here pass by you in front of our VIP area, feel free to cheer them on. Got Mr. Philippe Rozon, who is our foreign judge here this week with us. He'll be scoring. We're going to keep you maybe up this end just a little bit in a tighter circle so that we can allow those who are walking the course the opportunity to do so without interruption. Obviously, they're getting ready for the upcoming Grand Prix main event this week. But three nicely turned down competitors, some of them already demonstrating their ability to go not even on the lead, but to be fully in control of their mounts here today. So I want to congratulate you on that. Mr. Rozon, we've seen him in the first direction now. What do you think? Is it time for them to reverse? We'll go ahead and do it. We'll reverse you, ask you to go in the second direction. So we'll turn on the rail and track to the right, if you would. All right, looking good here, looking good. We'll let those who would like to trot, and we'll let those who would like to walk, walk. They're all sort of at different levels of development here. Okay, we got some big name trainers who are giving them some great insight as to how you can win a class like this. All right, look at that posting trot, nice. Okay, we're gonna take it back down to the walk, back down to the walk. All right, Mr. Rozon here making the calls. All right, it's time for you to line up, if you would, please. Let's go ahead and have you line up facing the VIP area here so they can see who you are, know who they want to cheer on. I'll give you direction like maybe right here. Just come right here and line up in front of me, if you would. Perfect. We're going to halt right there. We'll have this one circle around and line up right beside him. Mr. Rozon can make his way down the line here to try to make that decision. Barry, Maddie and Barry, okay. All right. Moving on to our next contestant here. We'll see what Phil has to ask this one. Sometimes it's equestrian-based knowledge we're looking for. Sometimes it's just a name. You never know what you're going to get, so you got to be prepared, you know. Pony named Sebastian. Like that name. Okay, one more, and then we'll have to make that decision. Can you tell us that one more time?
This is my friend pony.
It's your friend's pony, or it's your pony?
It's my pony, but my friend's riding it.
Well, that was nice of you to let your friend ride your pony. Nice job. That's some generosity. I appreciate that, huh? Yeah. Not everybody would just let any friend ride their pony, but she does. What is it?
Pineapple cutie pie.
Pineapple cutie pie. I couldn't think of a better name for a pony like this. Okay. In fact, I might buy a pony just so I can name it that. All right. So he's doing his paperwork now, and I agree. That one's pretty good. What? He was just about to tell me who won it, and then he said they all won it. What does that mean, Phil? Come on. You're not even. I guess it's a three-way tie across the board here. All blue ribbons in this lead line. I've never heard of such a thing. Wow. Congratulations. Parbalang is going to present the awards as always, and some really, really nice prizes here. All of them bearing the Traverse City Horse Show's logo, as you can see. Some goodie bags, if you will, and blue ribbons for our winners here today. So it's her pony, but it's her friend riding, so they're going to sort of share in the glory here today. Congratulations. Right? Pineapple Cutie Pie and Rose Judge, congratulations for your pickup of the win here today. Rhodes Judge, of course, Quentin Judge, one of our Grand Prix competitors, also has been showing well over the last couple of weeks here. Second, we have Emma Rancone, and behind the scenes. What is behind the scenes barn name? Did you tell me? What's your pony's name?
Sebastian.
Sebastian. Okay, all right. Congratulations, you're a winner as well. And of course, we know Maddie. She is definitely a high-level competitor at this point. She's already shown that she can even go off of the lead, and very nicely done there with very good. Do you have any words for your adoring audience? No, just a thank you. Okay, congratulations. All right, they're all three winners. Give them a nice collective round of applause, if you would, please, as we wrap up the lead line and send it back to Andrew in the booth.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you very, very much indeed. Welcome, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. We are just about ready to kick off this afternoon's big event. It is the $230,000 Traverse City Tourism Major League Show Jumping 5-Star Grand Prix. But firstly, we'd like to take a minute or two to thank our sponsor of today's Grand Prix, Traverse City Tourism, along with our Major League Show Jumping sponsors, Caliday, Cabana Coast, and Premier Equestrian.
Caliday is proud to support the inaugural season of the Major League Show Jumping Series and be outfitting the top riders in the world as they compete for over $7 million in prize money over 10 events at North America's premier show jumping venues. Founded in 2014 to provide American-made luxury equestrian apparel, Caliday is known for its high-quality products and its modern take on the storied equestrian lifestyle. Visit the Caliday booth by the Grand Prix tent to shop the entire collection, as well as the official Major League show jumping apparel and merchandise.
When every second counts, the surface matters. Premier Equestrian features Protex footing product and Auto Sport base mats. Mats absorb up to 40% of the concussion. Protex provides maximum stability. Premier Equestrian is the official footing partner of Major League Show Jumping. Contact us about your arena at premierequestrian.com.
Advisors to offer a $30,000 rider bonus for open jumper riders. That bonus is determined based on the points accumulated in classes offering $25,000 or more in prize money throughout the summer. The bonus will be awarded following the American Gold Cup Grand Prix, which is another fixture as part of the Major League Show Jumping Series. Now, as we head into the Grand Prix, here is how the leaderboard looks. Katie Laurie, from 3 tremendous victories during the Traverse City Spring Series, sits on top of that leaderboard with a total of 42 points. 2 Grand Prix victories, 1 final victory during the Spring Series, and an opening victory in the 3-star week of the Great Lakes Equestrian Festival means Carl Cook is in second with 37 points. And then a winner from the Spring Series again, Tiffany Foster, in third place with 27. Joint 4th for both Daniel Blumen and Sydney Schulman. 3 big wins during the last 2 weeks, as you saw a little earlier on in the winning round. And they're in joint 4th with 24 points. And then in 5th, not too far away, snapping on the heels, is Kristen van der Veen with 22 points. A very big thank you indeed to Captive One for their sponsorship and support of the rider bonus. Captive Insurance is more than coverage, it's ownership. A Captive Insurance company is owned by you and provides coverage for your business-specific risks in instances where traditional insurance policies are either unavailable or unaffordable. Through prudent claims administration and sound investment policies, a Captive Insurance company protects your bottom line. And you can learn more about Captive One, a Traverse City Horse Show sponsor, at captiveone.com. Now here's a look at how today's competition will work.
The sport of show jumping is pretty simple. It's all about the fours. The first of those you need to know is when they have a fence down. That equals 4 faults. The second four comes into play is if a horse has a refusal or a run out, basically doesn't jump the fence they intend. That again incurs 4 faults. If a rider and horse have a second stop on course or a run out, unfortunately you will hear the bell go, and that will mean elimination. The aim of the game is very simply to finish with a 0 score. In the case of many of the classes, like the Grand Prix that you're going to see today, it is about getting through the first round with a 0 score. But there's another factor. Time is the other factor that comes into play. A time allowed exists, and this is based on the distance of the horse and the speed you're supposed to ride at. So, say the time allowed is then calculated at 72 seconds. If they go over that time allowed, it's 1 time fault for every 4 seconds commenced on the clock. So, it's very simple. You have to jump all of the fences cleanly and stay inside the time. So how does it work after round 1? Well, very simply, all of those with a clear round go into the jump off. This is over a shortened course, using part of the track from round 1. So it might use fences 1, 3, 7, whichever way the course designer decides. But essentially it puts the emphasis on speed, and it's going to be a lot tighter turns in this one generally as well. The winner, well, very simply, the one that takes home the biggest share of the prize money, the one that lifts the trophy, is the quickest and highly likely clear around that track.
Fly us through this week's Grand Prix flight plan.
Here we go. We are live, in fact. All right, thank you, Andrew. And with Olaf Peterson once again, a 5-star event here. And, of course, we have come to expect over the course of a long period of time that Olaf Peterson does such a masterful job at designing courses. But this has got to be a pretty challenging week when you have so much at stake here. Of course, we've got 2-star and 5-star events. We've got a team event. How do you keep it all together throughout the course of the week?
Yeah, that's true. There are a lot of horses, a lot of riders here. But I understand them because we have beautiful conditions here, fantastic footing. Yesterday it rained so much, I couldn't believe what I see after 1 hour was really that people do a great job here.
All right, so the footing plays a big role, obviously, when you're setting a course like this. You wouldn't be able to do such a challenging route if we ended up with bad footing. And obviously this is really top-notch, and really what happened yesterday with all of the rain and how it drained and how they were able to put it together is a huge testament to the installation of the footing here. But let's go ahead and talk about how you've designed the route here today. We've got fences 1 through 14 making up the course today. We've just heard about your time allowed, which is 82 seconds. Maybe you could just tell us some key elements. We just have a minute or two to talk about it, so maybe we'll just start at fence number 1, and you make your way and tell me what you think some of the key parts of this course will be.
Well, this is a qualification for European Championships and I think also Pan Am Games. So we need at least a minimum of 2 jumps 160. We need at least 1 jump with a plank on top. So plank on top, you see this is the last jump we have, number 14. Also not in every Grand Prix you usually put 14 jumps, but in a 5-star Grand Prix I think it makes sense to do that. So we have 14 numbers here, like you said, Brian. We have also huge triple bar. It's 1 meter 52 by 210. So dimensions are really high. Also it's very technical with a nice start. We start there in the premiere on the in-gate, then over the lighthouses, a nice 5 strides to the Maya jump. Then we go left turn to number 4. It's already 158 high, the just world jump. Straight on with 5 steady strides to 5AB, which is in the distance in the combination is pretty normal with 8 meters. Then we go to right turn to the Cabana Coast. The Oxer is 153 by 165 spread with a Liverpool under it. That also belongs to these specifications. We need 2 Liverpools at least. I have 1 under a vertical for coming later and 1 under this Oxer. Then we follow with the big triple bar in white. Going on with 6 steady strides to the pinecone jump, number 8. Then left turn to number 9, which comes pretty quickly. Also here you need to know there's a little bit of time pressure, so to make this 82 seconds time allowed. From 9 to 10 we have 4 little bit long strides. Oxer is also 152 by 165. Then left turn to the net jets. This is 155 high. And very airy. And then we have an open weight to the triple combination, Oxer, vertical, Oxer. Oxer in is 148, and then the vertical is 155. To 1 stride and then 2 strides, the element C. Then we go on to the last line. This will be, I think, 8 strides to number 13, sorry. This is 1 meter 53 high also. That's the highest Oxer in the course. Going on with 5 long strides to the plank, number 14.
All right, so a plank at the end, and they're tired at that point, of course. It's a bit of a long course, as it should be. You told about a couple of the key elements that make it a 5-star and a qualifier for those feature events, as you said. And, of course, you're going to have to keep an eye on the time allowed, as you said, 82 seconds. A couple places where you might make an inside turn, but in the result of that, you may have a little bit of a mistake on the approach to a fence or something like that. But in any event, we're certain to see some very challenging rounds here, some different decisions that people make as to how they can make up that time. Anything that you think is probably the #1 problem out here on your course today?
I don't think so. I hope we see a little bit mistakes here and there. Of course, not too many, but just otherwise it's also no suspense if everybody is clear.
That's true. We want to narrow down the field to just those that will make it into that jump off. Olaf, thank you very much for being with us here for the NetJets flight plan. As we get closer and closer to the start of competition, we'll go ahead and send it back up to the booth here. Andrew Pollard.
Thanks, Brian. Thank you, Olaf. As an official sponsor of the Traverse City Horse Shows, NetJets, the worldwide leader in private aviation, offers seamless travel options to athletes and attendees every single year. NetJets is proud to be a Berkshire Hathaway company known for its unwavering commitment to safety, service, and unmatched global access. Visit netjets.com today. Now let's talk about Clear for a Cause, which is a great transition there. Captive One is once again partnering with non-profit Just World International throughout the Traverse City Horse Shows to bring you the Captive One Clear the Jump for Just World competition. Each time a horse and rider clear the Just World and Captive One jump without dropping a rail during the 6 weeks of the Traverse City Horse Shows, Captive One will make a donation to Just World, a donation that supports books, school supplies and teachers to help children access education and, in time, fracture the cycle of poverty. We are just moments away from the $230,000 Major League Show Jumping 5-Star Grand Prix. It's time to introduce those officials. Our president of the ground jury, ensuring fair competition, from Venezuela is Elena Cutani. Members of the ground jury include from Costa Rica, Lorena Guerra, from Bolivia, Jose Pepe Gamara, and of course, the FEI-appointed foreign judge from Canada, Philip Roson. Olaf Peterson, as you know, is the course designer, our chief steward, ensuring everything behind the scenes goes well and in order is Jean Bonsall. Before we start that competition, as in the traditional sense, ladies and gentlemen, let's now please ask you to stand and remove cover for the playing of the national anthem of the United States of America.
Now in the feature event for individuals this week. You can pretty much say there are two feature events between the Saturday night team competition and the Sunday afternoon Grand Prix. And here we are at the start with, again, Sean Cassidy showing the way here aboard Captain Jack. Good to see him here joining us again. West Coast based. Captain Jack is 12-year-old Greg Yelding by Der Senat 3. Brian Lookabill with you, along with Michael Morrissey. And, of course, Michael Morrissey, a Grand Prix rider himself. I have to give him quick credit here before we even start to say thanks for sitting with us. I know that as competitive as you are and as much as you love this sport, you have to have at least a little bit of you that says, man, why can't I be out there right now?
Yeah,
but we appreciate your insight as we get through the week. And starting as we just saw there in the NetJets flight plan over the Premier Equestrian Oxer, maximum meters 60 fence heights here today. We got some very big and wide jumps, including that triple bar, which I believe he said was 182 in width there, so that's going to be pretty large. coming down. He, of course, Sean already has that knockdown at number 4 and the Major League combination A element coming down.
Yeah, it's a very big track today. Olaf Peterson Jr. designed 14 jumps. Time allowed is 82 seconds. I would imagine that's going to be an issue for some riders. This is a very big jump. He's heading to now fence number 9, the Turtle Creek Casino and Hotel jump. It's meter 60, very airy. It's 4 strides, a little bit flat to fence number 10. You see Sean have the back rail of that oxer down. It's a quick turn for time allowed on the net jets. Vertical, it's 158. Very airy with a Liverpool on the backside, and the triple combination comes late in the course. You see that a little bit of an issue for Sean. He gets through it though. Last line 13 to 14. It's 14 jumps. It's a bit of a long course. It's a big oxer, biggest oxer in course. Number 13, 153 square, and then it's a very flat 5 strides, maybe even 6 for some riders, to a meter 60 plane. Yep, Sean does the 6.
Yeah, that is a line you're definitely going to want to line up on, but at the same time, when you're getting toward the end of the course there, you probably get a little nervous about the time allowed, as you said. He scores unfortunate knockdowns and refusals, 32 on the course, 3 faults on the clock, and his time of 93.80. So all told, Sean finishes with 35 faults in the round. You know, there's a lot to be said for anybody even showing in a 5-star Grand Prix like this. And so Christian Heineking coming up next. Christian here aboard NKH Cento Blue, one of his winners last year, Grand Prix events. Well, excuse me, it looks like it'll be Jose Antonio Chedraui joining us. Christian may be a scratch, we'll just check in on that to be sure. But Jose with the entry, stable entry, Haraminka P coming up now. Jose Antonio Chedraui again here for Mexico. Board Aintree Stables entry. Haraminka P is his mount once again. 9-year-old bay, Royal Dutch Warm Blood mare. Couple of top 5 finishes in 2-star competition earlier this year. Highest they've shown at in the past season here is a 4-star event in Monterey earlier on.
You see fence number 4 coming down. I think that'll be the first issue the horses and riders have on this course. It's a very big jump, 158 tall. It's a tall vertical early on in the course. It's a very wide triple bar, 6 strides, rides a bit steady. Very well done there. I think riders are going to think about time allowed here coming to fence 9. It's a bit of a flat 4 to number 10. This net jets vertical with the Liverpool on the backside's very airy. That's going to come down a bit today. I think that's one of the hardest jumps to jump clear. And then you have the triple late in the course. Very well done there. We'll see, this is an option 5 or 6 strides. He does the 5 and clears the last jump. So overall, very good round to finish in 8 faults.
And just the 8, his score, and his time 82.21. So he will be just a bit over there. Did you see any points where time could have been made up, Michael?
Yeah, time is tight. I don't think it's terrible. He was a little bit slow in his turns, I think, from 8 to 9. 10 to 11 he was quick, but then he did have that jump down, so that's one place riders need to think about their turn and really get straight and take their time there, not rush it there. There are a few places, 3 to 4, you can really make up some time. It's definitely something the riders will have to keep track of.
Yeah, and the same places where you could possibly make up time with sort of tighter turns and such are also the places where the fences, once you come out of that turn, are some of the most challenging.
Olaf has done that today. He's made those tight turns into jumps that are very difficult to jump. So where riders want to make up their time is you get these big verticals and tough jumps to jump clear.
Oh, we've got Nicolette Hurt next to go here. She's out of Alamo, California, riding Iron Horse Equestrian's entry, Chateau 7.
Chateau 7 has several times taken her into the top 4 ribbons here in Traverse City.
Super ride there through 5AB, the Major League show jumping combination. It's vertical oxer. Unfortunately, having fence number 6 down, that's a -53 square oxer. Nicolette makes her way over fence 10. That flat 4 just got her a little bit, had front and back bar down there for 4 more faults.
Looks like she did take the opportunity to cut wide there back to the net jets vertical at that point to try to avoid further penalty.
Yeah, good job through the triple combination. Does elect to do the 6 instead of the 5 to the last jump and clears it to finish on 8 faults.
2 knockdowns again, the result here for Chateau 7, the 12-year-old Bay Oldenburg gelding. And her time, 81:41, shows that at least the time allowed is doable, 81:41, though she does come home with 8 faults. Rider who just finished up on a double clear and a nice 3rd place ribbon in our winning round competition is Brianne Gutol-Marteau, and she'll compete now aboard Viva Colombia. She's out of West Palm Beach, Florida. Brianne Gutol LLC entry is in.
And Brianne's a super rider, tons of experience, very soft, very great position. We know that won all the equitation finals you could win, all the international experience. She carries that equitation expertise over into the Grand Prix ring.
Indeed, during her young rider years, earned team gold at the North American Championships. She's ridden on the senior teams for the U.S. She's been a World Cup finalist twice. Again, this is Viva Colombia, the 16-year-old Bay Oldenburg mare by Khalil Rubin.
Yeah, super in the 5 strides to the 1 stride there from 4 to 5AB. This is a very big oxer coming up here. The Cabana Coast oxer with a Liverpool underneath. It's 8 strides to the triple bar. It's very wide. You get a short 6 to the pine cone shavings. This is a time allowed spot here from 8 to 9.
She's looking fairly wide and deliberate going into number 9, though.
I agree.
And again, not too bad there on the turn back to number 11, but it still seems not necessarily like a time-saving turn.
She's putting together a very good round so far, still on a clear round with 2 jumps to go. Fences 13 and 14, big oxer here.
And she's going to get there probably just in time. 8, 9, 80. She gets to the finish in 81:10. All right, so, you know, while it looked like she was slow and deliberate in some of those key time-saving areas, she obviously knew what she was doing, and why would I ever doubt such a great rider in Brianne Gutol-Marteau?
Yeah, she was very neat in her turns. She didn't rush the turns, but she was neat on the inside track without having to have too much speed through them. Very good ride. Horse jump great.
Up next, another rider who for decades has been a key element of our teams for the U.S. It's Peter Leone, Olympic silver, and a World Championship team member in the mid-'80s. In fact, ever since his debut back in 1979, he has been a regular rider, anchored winning teams in Dublin, Rotterdam, and at our indoors in Washington here in the United States. He's been a winner of some feature events at the Grand Prix of New York, U.S. Open Jumping Championships, of course 2 times the American Gold Cup, and that's certainly dear to our heart here in Traverse City because it is the crowning event of the season coming up in September. So the list goes on for this great rider. Here he is today aboard Donner. Donner, an 11-year-old bay gelding by Thunder van de Zuthov, Lion's Share Farm entry.
See, this horse takes its time in the air, a little bit of a slower mover. Peter is really making sure he's staying on the inside track for time allowed. Got to find places because this horse does spend a little extra time up in the air. Very good jumper. We saw him have a beautiful round last Sunday in the 5-star Grand Prix with just 1 down, clear in the Friday, welcome this week. That was a very good turn to fence number 9, stayed on the inside track the whole way. Inside track to the net, jets vertical as well. You see him hustle his horse a little bit away from the jump. Super round so far through the triple combination, 2 jumps to go.
And I think he's actually a little bit ahead of Brian's pace.
Oh, unfortunately, having that front rail of fence 13 down.
Hey, he'll get there in short order, 77-74, but he does so with the number 13 knockdown, unfortunately. I thought we were about to have our lock for the jump off, but it will be 4 in 77-74.
Yeah.
Maybe time allowed not quite as much of a factor, but definitely something people need to keep an eye on here today.
Peter gave that a great ride. Really shaved time where he had to. He's going to be one of the faster 4 falters, I think, at the end of the day. That was well ridden, and unfortunate late rail there, fence number 13. That is a big oxer, 1 meter 53 centimeters tall and square.
We've got Kyle King coming up next. Again, West Coast, his main base of operations between towns in California and up into Calgary. His owner of Magic Mike is based in Kezio, California. It's Elizabeth Killam. Magic Mike's a 12-year-old dark bay gelding by Zapatero VDL. Kyle King with wins this season out on the West Coast in Thermal, California. Temecula Valley, Blenheim. This stop here in Traverse City has certainly resulted in some nice ribbons for him, including in last week's Grand Prix when he was one of 4 that made it into the jump-off, 3rd in the final ranking, and he also rode to the bronze for the team Roadrunners in our debut of the team event last Saturday night.
Kyle's had some great success so far here at Traverse City. Seems to be in the top 10 of every class that I've been watching in the FEI division. Still looking for that podium finish here in the Grand Prix. It's been very close. Horse is jumping great, riding great. It's been fun to watch. He does this 6 stride really well here, triple bar to the Pinecone Shavings. Working on clear round as he heads to fence 9. Super down the 4 stride. And clear as we head to fence 12A, B, and C. Triple combination 1 stride to a 2 stride. Oxer coming out.
Landing off of that in 67, which is something we might want to keep an eye on here because I think he's going to have plenty of time to spare.
A super round.
Well done, indeed. 77.17 is his time. No trouble for Kyle King to get through, and with Magic Mike give us the lock for the jump off, with Viva Colombia and Magic Mike being the 2 so far. Good to go. Now we've got next on the order here out of Upperville, Virginia, Allison Robitaille. She'll ride her Allison Firestone LLC mount Lima 47. Lima 47, a runner-up in the Upperville Grand Prix just over a month ago with Allison at the controls. And Lima 47 is a 10-year-old Gray Oldenburg stallion by Lucky Boy. She's been competing on this one since about April of this year. Along with that runner-up in the Grand Prix there, she did take a win during the Spring Series in a 2-phase event in Kentucky. A couple of other ribbons in Traverse City here. In last week's Grand Prix, a 9th place finish.
A little rub there at 5B, Major League Show Jumping double. The Oxer coming out, stays up, no problem. Very elastic horse, good bit of blood. Been watching it closely the last couple weeks. I really like it. Allison's doing a great job. You can see she's been thinking about the time allowed early on in the course. Takes her time a little bit there to fence number 9. Does a good job getting up the 4 stride to fence number 10, and then this difficult net jets vertical on the short turn. She angles that out, gives herself a little more room coming into this triple combination. Super through there. 2 jumps to go.
She's got to get there pretty quick. Getting to the finish line, actually maybe not as bad as I thought. She's also 78.13, so well inside, and we've got a third one clear.
2 in a row. We bring the number of clears up to
Yeah, super round there for Allison Lima. Just a 10-year-old horse, but really nice combination.
Yeah, she came into the ribbons last week with a fast 4 faults from the first round, so already an improvement on last week. Chance to jump off with that horse that's fairly new to her stable, just a few months of running together. Lauren Huff here with Catamara 2, Olympic and Pan Am and World Games rider for the U.S., Nations Cup finals 3 times. Of course, she's one of the most decorated riders for the U.S. squad. Kathleen Kamine's entry here is the 12-year-old Bay Holsteiner mare by Claremont. Lauren also competes for the Blazing Sevens team.
Unfortunately, fence number 4 does come down. She has that down behind the Just World vertical. It's 158, very tall early on. Still sitting on the 4 faults as Lauren heads to fence number 11. The net jets vertical with the Liverpool underneath. Little rub there, but it stays up.
She'll stay with that. It will look like a pretty quick 4 faulter in 77.35 for Lauren and Catamara 2.
And currently in the 4th position with our fastest 4 faulter, just edging out Peter Leone.
We'll welcome in next Kirschwasser SCF and the owner rider now Freddie Vasquez here with this 11-year-old chestnut Belgian gelding by Amaretto Darko. Of course, he rides bearing the flag of Puerto Rico and his mount Kirschwasser SCF. And Freddie, based out of Mettawa, Illinois, picked up this ride in late 2019 after some wins with Shane Sweetenham. The SCF on the end of the name here, denoting the Spy Coast Farm origins.
Yeah, this horse was bred by Spy Coast Farm, one of their first offspring. Horse jumped well through the Major League show jumping combination at 5AB, heads to the big oxer at fence number 6. 8 strides on the bend to keep going forward to this wide triple bar. Hasn't been an issue yet today. It's a short 6 there to the Pinecone Shavings. Freddie does a good job. He spends a little extra time setting up this fence number 9. Big stride, doesn't have to push down the 4. Little rub at sea, but it stays up. It's clear with 2 jumps to go.
Will he make it inside the time is the question at this point. 77, 8, 9, and 79.82, yes. Well done for Freddie Vasquez. He's now worthy of a return with Kirschwasser SCF.
So already with 4 clear, it's looking to be an exciting jump off we're going to have here this afternoon. It's a beautiful day, sunny, low 80s, great for show jumping.
In sharp contrast to what we saw here yesterday morning, especially early in the day when we had all of that rain that washed out everything except. Today, sharp contrast with yesterday that started off with so much thunder and lightning and rain that basically washed out everything until we got into the faults converted speed class and then the team event last night. So today is a beautiful way to finish out week 3 with this Grand Prix. Here's Mexico's Gerardo Pascal Mendez, and he'll be joining us aboard the Alamos Americas entry El Conde. El Conde is the 10-year-old mount, a bay gelding by Felou de Muse.
Unfortunately, 5B coming down for this combination. See, maybe this horse doesn't have the stride that we've seen other horses. Had to get forward down that line to get the 5 to 5A, maybe just caught up to him at 5B. Looks like he decided to call it a day.
Yeah, troubles, I think, on the approach as well to the triple barn. At that point, he decided, you know, it's not worth it to keep on going here today. We've got a lot more to go this summer, 3 more weeks in Traverse City, perhaps many other weeks on other stops for his personal show jumping tour. But in any event, a score of retirement for Gerardo and El Conde. Now time for John Perez Bohm, and he of course represents Colombia. He has been a regular competitor here since the spring series in Traverse City. His mount now Desperado DN. Desperado DN, 13 years old, a Bay Royal Dutch Warmblood stallion by Argentinas. Entry owned by Daniel Rian. And he has been a rider at the Central American and Caribbean Games, Pan Am Games for Colombia, and also at the World Cup Finals. Showed 2 wins in the May San Miguel de Allende show in Mexico. Also competed in Wellington and showed in the Nations Cup event there for Colombia. In fact, this was his Nations Cup mount there back in March. Of course, he's also been placed here in Traverse City. Lots of top 3 awards.
John putting in a good round so far as he's clear through fence 5, heads to fence 6, this big square oxer. Horse, very good jumper. You see, wears a hack a bit with the shadow roll. Maybe a little bit tough in the mouth, as you see, as he tries to steady that 6 strides. Unfortunately, doesn't get it done, has that rail down. Fence 9 coming down as well. The tall meter 60 vertical, Turtle Creek Casino and Hotel. With 8 faults, it looks like John's going to pull up, call it a day, save Desperado for another day.
Yeah, top mount that's proven itself in many other competitions, and today no reason to continue on, I guess, is their decision. So they will also retire from the round. Jordan Coyle will be a rider for Ireland based out of Brewster, New York. Here with Aristov, the 14th on the original order of go. I mentioned during the previous 2-star winning round class that Jordan has been a winner this season, again in events from Wellington to Monterey, Mexico, Old Salem, New York, and again the Upperville Grand Prix. This time around, again, he's here aboard Aristov. And Aristov is a 12-year-old gray gelding by Cicero Z. Van Pemel, owned by Elan Farm, Royal Dutch Warmblood mount.
See, this horse has a big canter, maybe a little bit on the slower side. Jordan's doing a good job staying on the inside track, starting already. Makes these forward lines in the beginning steady. Big effort there over 5B, the Major League Show Jumping double combination. Does the 8 strides, the 6 will be quite short for him. Unfortunately, having that jump down.
Well, and right to the camera here as he voices his displeasure, unfortunately, after the rail. A little correction on his way to the sunflower oxer there, hoping to just stay with the 4.
Yeah, that's a very big vertical, the Pinecone Shavings jump after that triple bar. Very short stride, 6. Fortunately, you see the B element of that triple coming down for Jordan as well, so he's sitting on 8 faults going to the last line. Does the 5 and has that plank down as well, so finishing on 12 faults.
Yeah, 3 knockdown effort there aboard Eristov, and his time then 78.19 with 12. Well, we've got 3 riders for the U.S., 1 for Puerto Rico currently. Amy Miller finishing up after a victory here last night for Team Eye Candy in the team event. Amy, Jacqueline Steffens, Paul O'Shea joining forces to take the podium top position.
What an exciting event that was last night, Brian.
Certainly was. And here she'll show Truman, a 12-year-old Basel Francais gelding by Malord Carthago. Entry of Miller and Overland from Perth, Ontario. 2016 Olympic rider in Rio. Showed into the ribbons in several events in Upperville, including an 8th place finish in that Grand Prix. Also showed into the Grand Prix ribbons during the Kentucky spring season with both Truman and another horse, Erickson. Won a 4-star event in Wellington earlier this year.
You can see the horse landing there off of 5B, a little shallow. Still clear. Amy just hustles the horse along a little bit there to get to 6. Good over the triple bar. This is steady 6. We've seen the last 2 riders have that down clear though for Amy. This meter 60 vertical, no problem. It stays a little wide here, but keeps nice pace to the NetJets vertical. Time alloved's been a little more lenient than we thought.
Yeah, indeed, and along with that, we're not necessarily seeing as many problems at some of those fences like 9 and 11 as I would have expected. Being very airy on coming in off the turns, but Amy good to go. She is going to strike one for Canada, and Truman will be a contender in the jump-off round. 5 so far. Again, 3 for the U.S., 1 for Puerto Rico, 1 for Canada. Now, maybe 1 for Ireland as Andrew Bournes joins us here aboard C-Top Blue. C-Top Blue has certainly been a good ride for him over the course of the last couple of years, and is a 10-year-old Bay Dutch warm blood gelding by Chaco Blue. An Irish rider who has, of course, been based here in the U.S. for quite a while out of Wellington. Ridden for Irish teams, of course. Took a top 4 placing on this horse in a $100,000 Grand Prix a few weeks back there in Lexington at the Split Rock Tour.
Unfortunately, early rail there at fence number 2 for Andrew. Seen that jump come down a couple times. It's one spot away from the gate. I think riders are thinking about time allowed early, maybe rushing it touch. We'll see if Andrew focuses on having a quick and efficient 4-fault round, see if he can finish up in the ribbons. There are 5 clear right now. Early on, a fast 4-fault would put him in 6th place. Good across the outside line in 4. Little rub there at the net jets, but it stays up as he heads to fence 12 ABC, triple combination. It's always tough having a triple combination this late in the course, but I think today the horses are handling it well. It's clear over fence 13, 1 to go, sitting on 4 faults.
And he'll get there with just that. Time for C-Top Blue is 79.19 with 4. He'll currently sit in 8th place. Of course, we've got the 5 clears tied for first place. And then we've got the 4 falters. Their positions are determined based on their time. Next we go to Skylar Riley of the USA, riding Robin de Puntual. Robin de Puntual, the 16-year-old Basel Francais gelding by El Thior, owned by Catherine Gallagher, a top 10 finisher in last week's Grand Prix. They also had a couple of 2nd and 3rd place results during some of our other features during last week at the Great Lakes Equestrian Festival. And she steered this one to a 7th in Upperville prior to that. Wins aboard other entries throughout the course of the early season in Wellington. Skylar out of Wellington, Florida, in fact. 2382 is the number here.
Yeah, Skylar and Robin have really been on a roll here. Jumped clear in both classes they did last week in the 5-star division, including this week as well. Super round. She did have 1 rail in the Grand Prix last week, but oh, that was a late rail there at the Oxford, just barely clipping the back rail. Came down about 3 strides after she had jumped it. That's unfortunate.
And sometimes they'll rock back and forth out of those cups. Sometimes the safety cups are just starting to slip because they've come down on it and put the requisite pressure to take them out, but it takes just a second or two for them to actually drop.
During the course walk, it was a big question mark whether to do 5 or 6 down that last line. Skylar does the 5. It seems like most riders are electing to do the 5 there. We haven't seen too many 6s at all.
She'll end up with a fast 4 falter anyway aboard Robin de Puntual. Much like happened last week, it still got her into the ribbons, and we'll see whether or not that plays out this way in week 3. 77.12 the quick time, and again comes with 4 faults. Now, of course, a very dynamic horse and rider combination who last week took 2 big wins. We've got Carlton W. and Alex Granado back in our midst. Carlton W., the 13-year-old Bay Belgian gelding by Chaco Blue. Longtime mount for Alex Granado. He is now based in Lexington, Kentucky. And this was actually the ride he steered to the team bronze at the Pan Am Games 2 years back in 2019. For a long time, we've known Alex to be a top-level rider ever since he was chosen for the Young Rider Championship team years and years ago. But again, this is perhaps his most successful mount. Lots of wins in the Grand Prix over the last several seasons, including in Kentucky at the National Horse Show, Grand Prix here in Traverse City, events in Wellington, and of course this year 2 big wins for this pair.
Yeah, last week's Grand Prix winner here at Traverse City and the welcome. He had a huge week last week.
Yeah, he was the only one to go double clear in that Grand Prix event, and really, really an exciting finish. In fact, it was so fast that when he finished up, I nearly called him the winner with 1 left to go.
Yeah. So when this horse and rider combination are clear and in the jump off, they're very hard to beat.
They just can't help but be fast and careful.
That's a very careful horse, a lot of blood. See, this horse's legs are always moving. Alex knows just how to place them. It's a pairing that's been together for quite some time now. solid form. Unfortunately, having that net jets jump down, fence number 11, we thought we'd see that quite a bit today. It hasn't been that much of an issue yet, but unfortunately Alex and Carlton do have it down, so they're on 4 faults as they head to the last line.
They'll guarantee themselves at least a quick 4-faulter as they wrap up in 75-40. And the Bright Lights group entry at Carlton W and Alex Granado at least take over the 6th position with the fast 4. Would have loved to have seen them in the jump off. We always love seeing them because we know it's going to be exciting today. Not the day for them, but you know, they have cleaned up pretty nicely here with a couple of big wins again last week. David Blake for Ireland is next to go, and this time around he'll show Kioki, the 12-year-old Bay Holsteiner gelding by Katoki, and also a long-time mount for this rider from Ireland. It's been a ride for him not only as an individual with several wins, but also a ride in the Nations Cup events over the last couple of years as he's represented his home country. David's shown this one, in fact, since mid-2018, debuting together in the international ranks in Tryon, North Carolina.
Little horse, but with a very big stride. You see he gets down that first 5 very easy to the Meyer Oxer. Unfortunately, the Just World jump does come down. That very big vertical early on in the course. 5B comes down as well. The Major League Show Jumping Oxer coming out of the combination. Good job steadying for the 6, setting up for that Pinecone Shavings vertical. This 4, it's a little bit open. It's no problem for this combination. David really sets up this turn to the combination. It's Oxer, vertical, Oxer, 1 stride, 2 stride. 2 jumps to go to stay on 8 faults. And he will remain on 8 faults.
All right, finishing up in 79.94 with the 8. Coming up next, a horse Michael should know fairly well. I believe you used to ride Chance Saint-Germain, and so you'll certainly have some particular insight to this round. This was our 4th place horse and rider combination last week in the Grand Prix. Natalie Dean out of Palo Alto, California, the rider for Marigold Sport Horses LLC. And of course, this is the 13-year-old Bay Belgian mare by Calvaro. So looking back at the history here as Natalie took on this ride, I believe, back in 2019 after you had shown it to some success prior to that.
2020, actually. Last year, she bought this horse just after circuit last year from QBS Equestrian. It's a super mare. We got her as a 7-year-old, and Natalie has just done a super job with her. She's been clear in both the meter 50 and the Grand Prix last week, clear in the welcome this week on her. It's such a great match. Natalie rides her great. It's a very blood horse, big stride, very careful.
Celebrating just over a year together, and actually they got a pretty good start together right away with some good placings in some of those Show Jumping Hall of Fame classics, but perhaps one of their most favorite ribbons in a Grand Prix came later last year in the American Gold Cup here. The American Gold Cup qualifying class, I should say, during that final week of Traverse City competition.
See, she swung out a little wide. Chance is definitely a little bit easier on the right lead. Left lead got her out wide, but no problem, made it work. Still working on a clear round through the triple combination. 2 jumps to go. Little rub there, but stays up. 1 jump to go. Oh, clear round, great ride.
Nice job. Yeah, she was 1 of 4 to get in last week. At this point, she's 1 of 6 to get into the jump off. And Chance Saint-Germain working out nicely, as you said, over the past year since they debuted together here in July of 2020.
Yeah, super round. Alon Furter, the trainer, is doing such a great job with that combination. Have to say, that horse jumped clear in every single class over the last 2 weeks in 5-star competition, the Welcome and the Grand Prix both weeks. So props to Natalie, Chance, and Alon Furter of doing such a great job.
Well, that brings us now into Opium du Soufflet and Nicholas Delajoyo. Another U.S. combination here, riding out of Wellington for Rocking D Ranch with the 12-year-old chestnut gelding by Ogano Seat. Nicholas Delajoyo, Opium du Soufflet, 21st pair to go. We've got a total of, looks like 35 that will compete here. So we're well past the halfway point with currently again 6 clear.
Yeah, this horse, big, scopy horse, not the normal ride for Nick. Usually owner Ken Dickey shows his horse, but wanted to get him some experience over the bigger jumps, FEI competition, so Nick took over the reins for a few horse shows. He's doing a great job. Very tough not knowing a horse that well and showing it in classes this big. Does a good job setting up that short 6 strides to the Pinecone Shavings jump. Little rub there at fence number 9, but it stays up. Unfortunately has fence 10 down. It's a flat 4 strides there to number 10. Big effort over A, the triple combination. Still with just the 4 faults as he heads home to the last line. Fence number 13. Clear with 1 to go. 4 faults it is.
All right, so that will be a time of 79.36 and put him on the 12th position here today with the 4 faults. And again, we are in the midst of our main event this week here at the Great Lakes Equestrian Festival. Week 3, it's our $230,000 TraverseCity.com Grand Prix, a 5-star feature event. Chance for riders to earn those world ranking points, qualifier for the European Championships, qualifier for the Pan Am Games, puts you up on the list there and gets you noticed if you compete well, and again gives you a chance to move up that world ranking list. Katie Dinan coming to us here. She's aboard Brigo R&B, Grant Road Partners entry out of New York, New York, and a 15-year-old bay gelding by Nameless R.
Katie, just a great rider for many years. Believe she rides as an amateur, but always competing against professional at the highest level.
Yeah, indeed she has, and of course way back she early on showed she could do it at the highest level, first off at the North American Championships, and later on competed in big events for the U.S. Again, Brigo R&B is her mount here today. Another one she's been with for several years. And as I talk about big events for the U.S., she's shown 4 times at the World Cup Finals.
And putting together a really super round so far today. So she picks the horse up a bit there, adds some leg through the triple combination, clear with 2 jumps to go.
It looked like they were maybe losing a little momentum going into B of that triple combination, but like you said, picked them up and kept them going through, and looks like they will be there. 79.59, fault-free the time, and that will be another one good to go. Very heavy U.S. contingent here in this jump-off so far, with Brianne, Kyle, Allison, Natalie, and Katie all qualified. Puerto Rico's Freddie Vasquez and Canada's Amy Miller also have joined the fray. So they'll be coming back here as well. Another great young rider who is with us out of Chicago, Illinois, We've got Kat Tyree coming up next. Kat is here aboard BEC Lorenzo, number 2352. And an 11-year-old gray gelding by SIEC Lavello, owned by Catherine Tyree, LLC.
Catherine Tyree, BEC Lorenzo, USA.
Similar to Katie Dinan, Kat Tyree showed at 4 Continental Championships as a young rider from 2010 to 2014 in consecutive years.
Yeah, Kat's a very competitive rider. Spent her early years training with North Run, Missy and John. Really learned to be a top-notch FEI rider from them. Doing a great job now with the string of horses she has.
Well, the Pinecone Shavings vertical coming down here. And if she can keep it at just that one knockdown, maybe she'll still have a chance at a ribbon. Fastest of the fours right now is 75-40, Carlton W. and Alex Granado.
She's really doing a good job of keeping up her pace. If she does maintain that 4 fault, she will be close to Alex's time. It's a fast combination, these two.
And they get to the finish line pretty speedy there, 75-67, just behind Alex, so they'll go into the current 9th place. It's again 75.67 with 4.
Yeah, you see she just clips that Pinecone Shavings jump with the hind end on the way down. It's unfortunate 4 faults. It was a good, very good round for Kat and Lorenzo.
Total of 7 good to go entries right now. We are up to the 24th in this order of go. It is Juan Carlos Martin del Campo out of La Jolla, California, riding Dimitri. He represents Mexico. So far this season with the Dimitri showing in the ribbons in Balvanera during the March part of the winter tour, Copexapan as well in a winning round event. Juan Carlos Martin also showing on several other entries into top 3 ribbons throughout the early part of this year.
An unfortunate rail down early at fence 5B. Clear 6. I thought that was going to be more of a problem spot. That's a big oxer off that turn. Hasn't really caused a problem. We see the first rider here to have the triple bar down, the back rail there. That's very wide today. Hasn't been an issue. Unfortunately caught this horse and rider combination. NetJets vertical coming down. Fence 13 comes down as well, so he sits on 12 faults going through the timers. No, 16 faults, sorry.
16 in total there for Juan Carlos and Dimitri, 16 faults. We'll have next up Rodrigo Pessoa here aboard Lord Lucio. He's out of North Salem, New York, riding for Artemis Equestrian Farms. 10-year-old bay Holsteiner stallion by Legolas is Rodrigo's mount. Again, now named to his 7th Olympic team. 6 prior starts for Brazil. Olympic gold medal, World Games gold medal out of 6 starts there. 3 times top of the list in the World Cup finals. Rodrigo and Lord Lucio now on course for Artemis Equestrian, number 1905.
And Rodrigo, one of the riders we'll see in Tokyo here. He leaves tomorrow to head to Japan. So best of luck to him. and the whole crew at Artemis Farms and Brazilian team. Unfortunately, a rail there at fence 5B, the Major League show jumping jump. Super in the 4 stride from fence 9 to 10. See how Rodrigo really taking a short turn to the net jets, maybe thinking about time, trying to be a fast 4 faulter. Fast 4 would put them in 8th place if they could beat a time of 75.40 seconds. He's going to be a little bit off that as he has fence back row of fence 13 down. He does do the 6 strides there and finishes with 8 faults.
So an 8-fault finish, 79.38 time. We're on now to Adrian Sternlicht out of Greenwich, Connecticut. After some trouble last night and today in jump-off rounds, she pulled it back together to earn herself a runner-up placing in our winning round class with Lafayette Van Overis. Of course, Adrian Sternlicht highly recognized as a rider for the U.S. And so we'll see now what she can do in this 5-star event aboard Benny's Legacy for Starlight Farms. This is a 13-year-old bay, Oldenburg gelding by Lupicor. Got to really have a tough head on your shoulders to be able to overcome some of the things that have happened both last night and today. Stops and jump-off rounds here for Adrian. So to come out then and do nicely in a 2-star event just before this, we got to give her credit for that. Adrian has earned a victory in Grand Prix action in Old Salem, New York on Benny's Legacy this year back in May.
We saw this combination jump to welcome clear, but with a time fault on Friday. See, Adrian really went direct from 1 to 2. Few places she can make up time. The time is not as tight today as it was on Friday, so she should be okay. Very quick to the triple bar. Yeah, super there in the 4 stride. Maybe a little wide here to the net jets vertical. You see she goes out wide here to get lined up to the triple combination. Horse gave a little skip in there to give extra room from B to C. She's quick to 13. 1 jump to go. Time looks good. Great clear round.
Good go, and once again, Adrian Sternlicht, who has had a whole lot of success, lots of wins from Old Salem to Saugerties. Again, a runner-up in the winning round class just before this, and of course lots of time in Europe this season as well with the team. Now is going to be a contender. Runner-up also just a couple days ago in a 5-star event on Friday was Margie Engel and Dikas. Dikas, a 12-year-old gelding by Diorado, co-owned by Storm Ridge Capital, the Garber family, Bartholomew and Gladwin's Partners, LLC.
Keep an eye on the last line here. Margie was one of the riders that said she was going to do 6 to the last jump during the course walk. I'd be very curious if her plan has changed after seeing so many riders do the 5 easy on this big horse.
Well, she showed this one to a lot of ribbons throughout the winter season, a couple of runner-ups there. Also a victory in Nukke, Belgium earlier this month. She actually went there to stop in Stockholm, Paris, and Nukke before coming back to Traverse City.
And Margie made her debut on this horse in the FEI divisions here as an 8-year-old 4 years ago, winning a 2-star Grand Prix as an 8-year-old. Knew back then that this horse was going to be special. Oh, unfortunately, having the back rail, the triple bar there. It's an unlikely rail for this combination.
Looked like she was really working to get him turned back to that triple bar, actually on their way from 6 to 7.
Yeah, she did the forward stride, got there a little bit angled. We'll see, here's the last line if she chooses to do the 5 or the 6. Looks like she does the 6. Fortunately has fenced 13 down, so she finishes on 8 faults.
And that'll be a time of 78.08 with, again, 8 faults. Nicholas Pizarro joining us next. Qualifier last week for our jump off. And Oak Grove's Enkidu is his mount here today. 10-year-old Grey Saint Francais stallion by Ensor van de Pleville. Been a rider on World Games and Olympic teams on behalf of Mexico. Currently number 38 in the world. With us here for all 3 weeks of the Great Lakes Equestrian Festival so far.
This has been a very strong combination here at Traverse City Horse Show so far, jumping nice rounds here in the 5-star division over the last couple weeks. See a big effort over 5B, jumps high and unfortunately clips the back rail on the way down. See Nicholas giving a big effort over the triple bar. So sitting on 4 faults, heading to fence number 9. The big meter 60 vertical, no problem. I think we all thought fence number 9 was going to come down a few more times than it has today, coming off of that short turn angled into the side of the ring like that, but hasn't been an issue yet.
We also sort of thought that that was going to be a little bit of a result of the time where people might be worried about it, but they've obviously realized that they don't necessarily have to worry about that time so much.
Nicholas selecting to do the 6 as well to the last, leaves it up and finishes on 4 faults.
In 79.85, which will put him, well, actually, out of the ribbons. We've actually got quite a few 4-faulters. To be in the top 12 right now, if you've got 4, you need a 77.35 time or better.
Yeah, Alex Granado currently holds the fastest 4-fault round in 9th place. Still sitting on those 8 clears.
So 8 to come back so far. Maybe we can see a rider for Ireland get in here. In fact, the first of 2 Irish riders remaining in this order will be Paul O'Shea, who anchored Team Eye Candy to the gold medal victory last night. Now he'll pilot the Machu Picchu Partners LLC entry, Scaraglen's Machu Picchu. 14-year-old bay Royal Dutch Warmblood gelding by Silverstone VDL. Paul O'Shea, rider for Ireland in the World Equestrian Games and the 2019 Nations Cup final, where they finished up with the team gold there in Barcelona.
You know, Paul's ridden for Ireland, numerous Nations Cups, big shows all over the world with this horse.
He's already been overseas with Machu Picchu this season in Singalan and Supat as the team identification process for Ireland was taking place.
Clear as he heads to fence 5AB, the Major League show jumping combination. He's clear through there, heading over to fence number 6. Cabana Coast Oxer with the Liverpool under it. Very short 6 to the pine cone, and he has that down. See, the horses a little bit that are tough in the mouth or rideability, they really stretch over that triple bar, and they've had a hard time getting back in that 6 strides, and it just caught up there for Paul and Machu Picchu. Four faults, yep.
Just the one knockdown, and if they can get there quick, which it appears they do, 76.34, that might still keep them in. 11th place, in fact, is where they land right now. So far, no riders for Ireland in the good list. We've got riders for the USA, for Puerto Rico, and for Canada. Next, a try for Mexico. The last one to give it a shot for Mexico, in fact. It'll be Francisco Pasquel from Mexico City, here aboard Manzano, a 13-year-old mount. Belgian bred by Numero Uno. This gelding has been with him over the past several seasons, showing into top 3 placings in Puebla, Colorado earlier this season. Earning winning round ribbons in Copexapan.
Bit of a rub there at fence number 4, and then 5B coming down. Francisco looking to be a quick 4-faulter now. See if he can turn really tight back on this net jets. He does. Unfortunately caught up to him there. He has that down, so he's sitting on 8 faults. And he's going to call it a day.
All right, so retirement score here for Manzano. They picked up some prize money here. Faults converted top 8 finisher last week in Traverse City, so their stop in Traverse City certainly, at least to some extent, worth it so far. See if they're going to stick around with us here in the couple of weeks to come. Still have 3 more summer season events here, and then a little bit of time off in August, 2 weeks before we come back for the September series that leads up to that American Gold Cup. Of course, during the American Gold Cup week, we'll have another of the Major League Show Jumping team events that we're looking forward to. Between now and then, that team tour will actually make 2 stops in Toronto. But here we are with about 6 left to go in our Grand Prix on Sunday afternoon. $230,000 at stake. 5-star points also on the line here. And Kristen Vanderveen and Bull Run's Prince of Peace will be next. Bull Run's Prince of Peace, one of the many out of the Bull Run Jumpers stable, and Kristen Vanderveen's base in Wellington, a 12-year-old Bay Holsteiner gelding by Cardinho. Already several wins and a couple of runner-ups here for Kristen Vanderveen in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, a bit of a rub there at fence number 2, but it stays up. We've seen that jump come down a few times today. Really sets up for fences 5A and 5B. A little rub on the back row B. That stays up as well. It's that forward 8 to the triple bar. Really needs to sit back steady for this 6. Leaves it up. Clear across the 4 stride over fence number 10. Heading to 11, still on that clear round. Time looks good. See, she's really staying on that forward direct path into the triple combination. Saw a boot go flying there. Does the 5, and she's clear.
Nice job there by Kristen Vanderveen. And whenever we see her get into a jump off, that's just another little bit of guaranteed excitement because she never sits back. She's always pedal to the metal. See how things shake out there when Bull Run's Prince of Peace makes it through into that jump off round late in the order. We've got 5 left before the adjustment happens here for round 2. Rodrigo Lambre of Brazil next to go. Brazil so far has not made it into the jump off. Maybe Rodrigo can be the one that carries the flag through. Jador van het Klinkhoff is the mount. 12-year-old Belgian by Thunder van de Zuthov. Rodrigo, the owner and rider of this one. Well, looks like it's actually going to be Aaron Ballard stepping up next. It would appear that that 33rd entry in the order is a scratch. At times, we have miscommunication here between us and the gate, but it looks like that is what's taking place right now. So as you can see, it's actually Aaron Ballard with us, and she's here aboard Gakir. Gakir, a 10-year-old chestnut stallion by Spartacus, owned by Elin Furter out of Royal Palm Beach.
Newer mount for Aaron. Just got this horse this year with Elan. A super combination. They've been very consistent. Clear rounds over big courses. Very capable horse.
We'll show the ribbons in the U.S. and in Europe with Ben Mayer before she took on the ride there in January. Did so and earned a couple ribbons throughout the Winter Equestrian Festival this season. Also a Grand Prix top 2 finisher in Tryon herself.
It's jumping a super round here as we head to the triple combination, 12 ABC. Unfortunately, having that B element down, the horse jumped so high over 12A. Had to push a little to get over B. She's going to finish on 4 faults.
Well, Gakir did get a piece of the prize here last week, a top 5 finisher there. Also another top 4 finish in a 2-star event during our 2nd week of Great Lakes Equestrian Festival competition. So she's had some nice checks already. And just 4 faults here today over a challenging course at a time of 77.89. BZ Madden will join us now, number 21 in the world. She's here aboard Breitling LS and riding for Abigail Wexner aboard this 15-year-old bay stallion by Quintero. First of our 3 left to go, it would appear. Of course, BZ Madden was another of the riders shortlisted for the team. Decided not too far back to bow out of this year's games, giving a young horse a little bit more time to develop there before she would try to do it again, and some other riders an opportunity to represent in Tokyo. But she has 4 times been there, and of course she's also been a World Cup champion on this very mount, Breitling LS, just a few years back.
Yeah, we saw this horse jump a very nice conservative double clear round on Friday, setting up for this. I'm sure BZ really had this class in her sights. So far it seems to be really jumping well. Very slight rub there at fence number 9. Clear over the net jet, so she heads to a triple combination. Super through there. 2 jumps to go. Time looks good. Easily does the 5 and clear round, yes.
So we're bound to see her really go for it in the jump-off round. Of course, Breitling LS, as I mentioned, a top-notch world-class horse. And already this season, a Grand Prix winner early on in Wellington. Was one of her mounts again through Europe in June and July. And we'll see what they have to offer in the jump-off round as yet another qualifier for the short course. She's a top-ranked rider in the field here today at 21st in the world. And all told, we've got 10 who are coming back so far for the jump-off. Another one, hopefully, from Ireland's Shane Sweetnam and his mount now, Ideal. Ideal, of course, did take a win for Shane here earlier on at the Great Lakes Equestrian Festival. He was the winner in a welcome class here 2 weeks back. Ideal, the 9-year-old bay gelding by Cardento. Of course, Shane, the resident professional there at Spy Coast Farm, and he and his wife's Sweet Oak Farm in Lexington and Wellington, respectively.
Little rub there at fence 4, but stays up. See, Shane really took an inside track to that jump. Horse maybe builds as the course goes on, gets a little strong in the mouth, so he's thinking about time allowed where he can by being smooth and on the inside track early so he doesn't have to rush this horse. Still clear as he heads to net jets vertical, fence number 11. Again, stays on that inside track so he's not rushing at any point. Ooh. Little rub there at A, got caught up, had to put in an extra stride, but he worked it out. 2 jumps to go. A little off of that up, oh, has the back rail of that oxer down.
Yeah, just dropped his leg down in the middle of that oxer there. Not typical, but could happen to anyone. As you can see here in the replay, they come out of the triple, had to work extra hard and dig in to do so, and then going up and over that fence, just went to sort of kick out, but didn't do it exactly at the right time and ended up with the rail.
Yeah,
4 faults.
Shane really had to give it a strong ride, finishing through that triple, and just kind of the wheels came off a little bit heading there, the fence 13. Reins got a little long, got a little bit off of that oxer, and unfortunately had that back rail down.
Well, one more to go here, and it's the October Hill Sales Limited entry out of Fort Worth, Texas, with Aaron Davis Heineking in the irons. It's 12-year-old bay mare, the Oldenburg by Leo von Fels. This is Leone. And again, Aaron Davis Heineking is up for the ride. A top 3 finisher last week in team competition here in the Saturday night performance early in the season. Top 3 ribbon winner on the desert circuit there in Thermal, California. Aaron, a lifelong horsewoman. Their family operation again is October Hill Sales Limited in Fort Worth.
Got a little stalled up in the combination there. 5B, tapped the front rail a little bit and jumped high, but was able to clear the back rail, so she's still sitting on a clear round as she heads to the triple bar here. Gets the 6 done. She's gonna have to think about the time allowed a little bit. She's just flirting with a time fault, I think. She really hustles here to the triple, leaves out a stride there on the inside track. Oh, unfortunately has fence 13 down. Time is fine. Finishes with that 4 faults.
80.08, and with the 4, you were talking about an inside track. They were really inside going through, actually, the triple combination, even on the approach, and sort of stayed cutting inside, maybe just not able to properly line up that number 13 on the way.
Yeah, I think Aaron felt that she was maybe a little slow and needed to pick it up there at fence 11. She stayed on the inside track and took a forward one into the triple, and I think it just kind of caught up to her there at 13.
I have to give her credit for fighting her way through that triple combination because, that wasn't looking like the easiest thing to do, but she pulled it off for going into the second to last fence, just as was the case with the previous rider, Shane Swedenham. And so that means that the field has been narrowed down to, again, riders for the U.S. to start: Brianne Gouton-Marteau, Kyle King, and Allison Robitaille. They showed in the early phases that Freddie Vasquez, Chris Rosser from Puerto Rico, Amy Miller for Canada, Natalie Dean, Katie Guinan, Adrian Sterling, Kristen Vandermeer, and Beezy Madden.
There's something about when you get up early, prep the plane, and you take off, and you get that first light of day. And the air is crystal smooth. You can see forever. You have to have the right aircraft for the right flight with the right crew up front. Only NetJets can do this. The flight dissolves into the background. It should just be the here and now.
What makes good footing? More importantly, what makes safe footing? Is it the dimensions, the foundation, or the irrigation? What if we told you good footing is not a single aspect, rather the entire process, from the design and intended use to which arena builder you choose? With GGT footing, it's not just the most trusted arena additive in the world, but the experience and knowledge to ensure your footing is safe.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Our horses are so much more than athletes. They can deliver our dreams with every ride. So we give them the best nutrition, the best health care, and the best equipment. Be sure to give the best transportation too. For 60 years, Brookledge has led the way in on-time delivery, customer focus, state-of-the-art equipment, and the best drivers in the industry. Brookledge, delivering your dreams since 1955.
No matter the industry, no matter the business, insurance can be stressful. A captive insurance program tailored to the unique needs of your business can take that stress away by not only protecting you in the bad years, but helping you grow in the good ones. Captive One Advisors. Protection when you need it, equity when you don't.
Normal. Nice. You can roll with that. Or you can roll the dice. Be the brave and boldly go a different way. A different wave. It's the risk taken by the gamers, chasing the glimmers. We're the risk takers, the loud laughers, the grand Traverse Bay late night swimmers. It's about the destination. It's about the way. And at Turtle Creek Casino in Traverse City, life is a game. And this is how we play.
Caliday is proud to support the inaugural season of the Major League Show Jumping Series and be outfitting the top riders in the world as they compete for over $7 million in prize money over 10 events at North America's premier show jumping venues. Founded in 2014 to provide American-made luxury equestrian apparel, Caliday is known for its high-quality products and its modern take on the storied equestrian lifestyle. Visit the Caliday booth by the Grand Prix tent to shop the entire collection, as well as the official Major League show jumping apparel and merchandise.
When every second counts, the surface matters. Premier Equestrian features Protex footing product and Auto Sport base mats. Mats absorb up to 40% of the concussion. Protex provides maximum stability. Premier Equestrian is the official footing partner of Major League Show Jumping. Contact us about your arena at premierequestrian.com.
There's something about when you get up early, prep the plane, and you take off, and you get that first light of day. And the air is crystal smooth. You can see forever. You have to have the right aircraft for the right flight with the right crew up front. Only NetJets can do this. The flight dissolves into the background. It should just be the here and now.
All right, here we are at the start of the jump off with our first one coming down. All told, we finished up with a total of 10 qualifiers for the short course. They'll go in their original order of go. And Michael Morrissey with us here, along with myself, Brian Lookabill. Let's quickly talk about the route, Michael, starting over the Cabana Coast Oxer, the orange and white fence on the outside line there, and then the triple bar, number 7. What'd you say about the strides there?
Yeah, in the first round, most horses did 8, some did 9. I think we'll see a direct 7 strides there. You loop around and head back to the Just World jump, to the Major League Show jumping combination. It was 5 strides. I think it'll still be 5 strides. There's an inside turn to the lighthouse vertical. Very difficult if they do it. Probably just around. You swoop back, roll back on fence 12B, and then it's a long gallop and a slice angle to the last jump, fence number 13.
And that's going to be exciting to watch to see how they approach that, because it's not exactly a comfortable angle, especially with the Premier Equestrian Oxer just on the other side of that. So we'll see. But we're already underway. This is Viva Colombia and Brian Goutal-Martos trying to set an uncatchable pace. And as we saw in the first round, she'll just appear very, very smooth and maybe not seem to be going fast, but probably deceiving.
Yes, she does do the 7, 1 to 2, and she's doing the inside turn here to lighthouse vertical. It'll be a real quick roll back on 12B. We'll see how many strides she does.
Eight to the final.
She does have 4 faults. Must have had the Just World jump down. We can't see that from our angle.
Looks like they are going to reset that. That is directly in line with us. So indeed, if it just drops out, we're not going to be able to see it necessarily. But there it is, 4 faults. And Brianne's time, 38.22 on Viva Colombia. Someone else is going to have to improve on that. Going clear, of course, would be the first step. Doing so quickly would fend off any further challengers. Kyle King coming up aboard Magic Mike, the Elizabeth Killam entry out of Nicasio, California. 12-year-old dark bay gelding by Zapatero VDL. Kyle King, also quite the stylish and competitive rider. A go-getter indeed in all events. And he'll try to be the first one clear. Swinging wide, looks like trying to slice from left to right on the Cabana Coast, so he's right on that angle already.
Does do the 7 easy. Keeping the rhythm through the turn to this Just World vertical. He gets a little deep, but gets away with it. See, he for sure will do this inside turn. Oh, good slice there. It's going out a little wide back here on 12B. Catches a good one though, a little rub. 1 jump to go.
Clear to here.
Yes, all the way through for Kyle.
That will be the one to beat now. Time 36:30. So he was about 2 seconds quicker than Brianne in any event. Magic Mike takes over. Once again, Kyle King well in the ribbons here last week in our Grand Prix. We only had 4 make it into that jump off last week. Kyle ended up in 3rd place there with Coffee to Go. So now with a 36:30 time, he'll lead the way, and we'll move along to Allison Robitaille and Lima 47. Lima 47, once again, her mount out of Upperville, Virginia for Allison Firestone LLC.
Allison heading to the first jump, getting a big canter, lining it up. Going to do this direct 7. Great jump over the triple bar. This horse is very correct with its front end. So you get caught up a little bit in the turn, but it worked out.
Skimming over the A element, but coming down on the back of the Oxer.
See, horse maybe just sighted in on that Meyer Oxer as she was making the turn to 12B. something to think about other horse and rider combinations doing, and clear over the last jump.
So just the 4, and her time 37.47, putting her right now into second place.
So a little bit faster than Brianne's time, going into second, but still just over a second behind Kyle's time in 36.3 seconds. So Kyle's time's looking good so far.
Yeah, I'd say for sure that turn back from the triple bar number 7 to number 4 is a key element for him. And next we'll see Freddie Vasquez in Kirschwasser SCF. Again, his entry over the last 2 seasons out of Mattawa, Illinois. The only rider for Puerto Rico to get into this jump-off round.
You see Freddie's getting a big wind-up, cantering past the end gate. For sure will do the 7 up the first line, or he should. He's got a very big stride. He'll want to turn really tight back, take a shot at the Just World vertical. There's the 7.
A little wider than Kyle.
Met that nice though. 5 gets steady, squeeze across B, good. That was quick. Unfortunately had that down, so he's sitting on 4 faults with 2 jumps to go.
And in the 4-fault column, again, 37.47 is the best time we've seen. I'm afraid he's not going to catch that.
No,
and we'll have another one at the last.
Yep, so an 8-fault finish.
39.62 time there. Rails coming down at number 2 and number 13. Things started off great there, and it was what appeared to be a good approach, though. We're at a strange angle to number 2. And, of course, that one coming down and also there at the last fence. Now we've got Canada's Amy Miller out of Perth, Ontario with the Miller and Overland entry, Truman, number 1627. She's also getting a big wind up here. She goes past the gate. Remember, Kyle took that left to right angle on the Cabana Coast Oxer so that it was just set up for basically a direct line to that triple bar there. That's a wide triple bar to attach at an angle.
Yeah, very big stride, able to get to 7 without hustling too much. Stays on the inside track well here to the Just World vertical, leaves it up, puts a little shape in the 5 stride to the double. Very smart ride. A little deep there to that vertical and has it down. That slice and inside turn is very difficult. Little rub at 12B, but it stays up with 1 to go.
And they'll keep it at 4 in a time of 37.70, putting Amy and Truman into 3rd place. Just 1 clear so far. Magic Mike and Kyle King. It looked like Amy did try to make a little correction there just before takeoff at number 2, but just possibly a little too late and unable to fit it in there. So 4 faults, 37.70 is the time. And now we'll be on to Natalie Dean of Palo Alto, California. And her entry, Chance Saint-Hermel, the pair that finished 4th in last week's main event. And again, one that she took on just a year ago here in Traverse City.
Natalie does the 8 from 1 to 2. I think she's taking a smart approach and looking for a double clear round. There's only 1 double clear round so far.
Very wide there to number 2, so she can line up directly on that. Of course, she's going to end up fairly wide to 12B as well.
A super jump there at 12B. 1 jump to go for 2nd place. Leaves it up, and she does go into 2nd place.
All right. Well, 42.65 will be her time. Well back from the leading pace but just by virtue of the clear, as you said, going into that second spot. So they may play it a little bit safe here at this point to make sure they're in the top ribbons. Or, of course, the winner's share of $230,000 is quite a big purse here today. So maybe they're going to give it a go. And, of course, as we look at the list of riders qualified here, Katie Dynan, Adrian Sternlicht, Kristen Vanderveen, BZ Madden, the last 4 to go. I can't imagine any of them are going to lay back. Brigo R&B is Katie's mount for Grant Road Partners. Out of New York, New York comes the 15-year-old bay gelding by Nameless.
Good angle for Katie from 1 to 2. Gets the 7. Unfortunately has the back row of the triple bar. Horse just fell out of the air a little bit. Double clear is looking good today so far.
Obviously, yeah, we've got just 2 of those so far. Kyle King, of course, blazing through.
And we've only
had the
seen
best time of anyone. Katie maintains that 1 knockdown penalty of 4 faults and 43.62. So down she'll go into 6th place.
Yeah, from that angle, it looked like she could have just gotten up that 7 a little bit more and then played it safe after that 4 fault. Finishing in a time of 43.62 seconds.
Well, Adrian Sternlicht, first of our 3 left to go. And here aboard Benny's Legacy. Of course, that's after she just earned a runner-up placing on Lafayette Venoveris in the winning round. Another big check possibly in her hands here with Benny's Legacy, the Starlight Farms entry. A 13-year-old Bay Oldenburg gelding by Lupicore.
Definitely one that has a shot. This is a fast horse, fast rider. So she's lining up this 7. Does 6.
Wow.
Wow.
Way open stride to make it easy to get over that triple bar as well.
Definitely not something I thought we would see. She's fighting for the 5 here. It's a show jumping combination.
Wow.
Very direct path on the inside to this lighthouse.
Again, we're looking for a faster time than 36:30. She's working on 28 right now and pulls that rail for 4.
Came around the turn. Unfortunately, that was a very long distance. Tried to get it done, finishing on 4 faults.
A quick one, though, 36.69. And honestly, I feel like the knockdown there slowed him down a bit.
Absolutely.
And possibly lost a 2.5 seconds. Had they figured out a way to stay clear there, I think they would have been way ahead of Kyle.
Yeah, that distance just showed up a little bit long out of turn. I think they were right to go for it. Just needed to get up to it a little bit more. Fortunately, having that down, and that's going to go into 3rd place for Adrian and Benny's Legacy.
Bull Run's Prince of Peace and Kristen Vanderveen join us now. One of our 2 left to go, trying to beat 36:30. Kyle King was the 2nd one in the jump off. Penalty free in his 36:30 time. It took us about 4 more rounds to see another clear, and she was well back from that in 42.65. Kristen Vanderveen, I'd have to guess, is not going to play it safe.
Never seen Kristen Vanderveen play it safe. She is going to win every time, going for it. Does the 7. A bit wide here.
Down.
And has that down. So she's sitting with 4 faults. Best she can do is be in 3rd place.
And I'm not sure she's got the pace to catch up to Adrian.
She goes around there. You know, I wonder if she was looking at a double clear, seeing there's only 2 double clears. Has that early rail and has picked it up now. Galloping to the last, finishing on 4 faults.
37.83 is her time, 4 faults. And she'll go into 6th place with that. Just 1 more to compete. And of course, The highest ranked rider in the class is the last one. Will we get another last as fastest effort here, just like we did last week by Carlton W? In fact, actually, there was one left to go after Carlton last week, but he did come late in the order. We love it when it finishes up with the best effort. That just really builds the excitement. At least it has that production value, but I'm sure Kyle King would beg to differ since he's got Magic Mike from early in the order still leading the way. He's got to stand by for one more round to see if his 36:30 was enough.
You know, props to Kyle for going early, putting that fast time in. Everyone's here been trying to chase him. We've only seen one other double clear round. That's coming from Natalie Dean and Chance St. Hermel. We'll see if BZ Madden can be clear and be faster than 36.3 seconds. Does hit direct 7, slowing down. Very neat and tight back on this Just World vertical.
World number 21 on her way and staying clear to here. She comes around. She's on the 24-second mark.
Oh, she takes a big one there.
Landing at 27 on the way to the final fence. She could do it, Michael. Is she going to?
She's got it.
Yes, indeed. 34:78 the finish time. Last in the class is fastest of all. Leave it to the master, BZ Madden. Again, number 21 in the world and bound to move up after her points are accrued from this 5-star victory on, again, the always wonderful to watch Breitling LS. She takes another win here on this Sunday afternoon. You know, she has throughout the earlier parts of the week not necessarily begun in it as much, but she saved the best for last here to really finish with a beautiful win in this 5-star Grand Prix.
And Beezy's just amazing. She's able to make that round look effortless. Nowhere did she really give it so much go except to the second to last jump. She really caught a forward one out of the turn and really shaved 2 seconds off of Kyle's time. Amazing effort there for Beezy.
Just a smooth and smart ride that gets her into the winner's spot here, and we end up with 3 clears over the jump-off course, all of them for the USA, so it'll be another host team sweep, or a sweep rather, of the ribbons here in the top 3 placings. BZ Madden with Breitling LS, Kyle King with Magic Mike, Natalie Dean with the Chance St. Hermel, and quite a bit of time separating the entries in those top 3 spots there. In fact, it is about 2.6 seconds between first and second, and something closer to 6 seconds between the second and third. But in any event, an exciting day of competition, another one that's been fun to watch and to commentate on, especially because of my company here, Michael Morrissey. Thank you very much for all the insight as usual. And I'm Brian Lookabill again, looking forward to seeing you in a future competition. But for now, we'll go ahead and turn it back over as we thank Michael to Andrew Pollard, who is up in the booth and about to present in our podium ceremony to the top 3.
Stays with you. You're never gonna hear my heart break. Never gonna move in dark ways. Baby, you're so cruel. My diamond stays with you. Material never fooled me.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the award winners for the $230,000 TraverseCity.com Major League Show Jumping 5-Star Grand Prix. The winning horse and rider combination, Beezy Madden and Breitling LS. It is second for Kyle King and Magic Mike. And third place for Natalie Dean and Chance Santamel. A wonderful, wonderful jump off that went down to the wire. Let's ask our top three to step towards the podium. And let's ask them to step up in reverse order of merit. Third place goes to Natalie Dean and Chance Santamel. The runner-up, second, Kyle King, Magic Mike. But the winner, what a performance, Beezy Madden, Breitling LS. Ladies and gentlemen, in honour of our winning rider, could we please ask you to stand and remove cover for the national anthem of the United States of America? Thank you all so much. Many congratulations once again to Beezy Madden and Breitling LS. But it is in what is sure to be a new tradition for the Major League Show Jumping, the champagne shower. A great tradition and sure to be a feature for Major League Show Jumping, it really is. Take a swig, Kyle. Wonderful, wonderful performances. Kyle King led right from the get-go pretty much, and he does finish in second place. He's going to get back on board just outside the arena. We're going to ask Natalie Dean, who last week was fourth, this week is third, and Chance Santamel. They'll get back on board, as will Beezy Madden and Breitling LS. Left it right to the end and just takes off for almost 1.6 seconds off the previous best. It was so smooth, it was so slick from Beezy Madden. Kyle King second, Natalie Dean in third place. We'll just await Kyle King just getting back on outside the arena. Yeah, we'll see Kyle on another occasion for sure, but let's send her away for her victory gallop. Congratulations, the winning rider of the TraverseCity.com Grand Prix is Beezy Madden and Breitling LS. Another wonderful, wonderful five-star Grand Prix to conclude the 2 weeks of Major League show jumping in terms of international competition here in Michigan. One competition still to go, though, and it is the $10,000 Show Jumping Hall of Fame High Junior Amateur Jumper Classic. We'll be underway with that in just a few minutes' time.